Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. Now it may be hard to sort of figure out what's going on here, but we're moving on to paper pads. This was sort of a whim that I just did. Like Janet from RTS Scrapbooking said, you should gather all the stuff you have, put it in one spot, and then figure out where it fits in your craft room. So we're tackling my 12 by 12 paper pads today, and I started a kind of sort of inventory list here, and guys, I have too many paper pads. I think I have 24. Maybe if this goes in focus, we'll be able to see. There we go. So I think I have 24 paper pads slash collection kits. But I think I'm also missing. See, there's one I just saw that I forgot about. So we're up to 25. I didn't bring those ones over here because they're falling apart. These ones over here are just the ones that were in this bin. That's also dirty and I need to clean it. So that was another thing I was going to bring up. Always clean when you take stuff out. So I'm going to clean this right after this clip. Let me write down that paper pad before I forget. But some of my larger paper pads are falling apart, so they don't go in this bin. I also have some things on top here that I'm not going to include in that count. This is a paper pad, but it's just cardstock. What I might do is just take this out of the paper pad, all the sheets here, and just put them into my regular cardstock category. I have my white cardstock in here. Again, I'll probably take this out and put it in my regular category. This is something I don't really want anymore. I think I might donate it to a school once I go through all the papers and make sure there's not a lot that I want. This is one of those Doris value packs. I mean, for $7, not a bad deal for 40 sheets. It also came, 40 sheets of pattern paper, 40 sheets of cardstock. So 80 sheets of paper and one embossing folder. Really bought it for the embossing folder. So I'll probably go through that and purge a lot of it. And then my 12 by 12 vellum's in here, so I decided not to include that in the account either. They're not really paper pads or kits. They're just there. So 25 paper pads. Like I said, a couple of them are in kits currently, or they're in my paper rack over there, which you've seen in my room tour videos. And then I did not include collections by my design teams. So I'm on the Wild Whisper design team. All of those collections live somewhere else. So I have access to just my Wild Whisper stuff when I need to do something. So these are mostly just paper pads. I think I have maybe 1-2 collection packs in here. Don't buy many of those either. So what I'm going to do is, well, here's another thing I have to talk about. This. So craft room cleanup's about making things easier on yourselves. So what I originally thought I was going to do was put these scrap papers in one of these. Let me grab one actually so it's easier to show you. If I can find, oh, there they are. Is to put my scraps from each paper pad in, here we go, a page protector. So these are the cheaper page protectors from like Walmart. Since it's school time, these are out. So these are letter sized. I'm sure they make other sizes, but I'm a little lazy. So this fell off the front of my beautiful paper pad. So what I was thinking I would do is put all of these in here. I store my paper pads upside down, so the binding's at the bottom of this bin. That way I can flip through the paper pad while it's standing up, and I can find what I actually want. So far that worked pretty well until the back started falling off. If only that happened to, I think, this one so far. But I think if I take all of these pieces, at least the ones that aren't 12 by 12, let's see, those ones will work. That one's too big. This one's too big. All the ones that are smaller than 12 by 12 and put them in here, ideally. I guess I should say smaller than 8.5. And then this could live inside there. That way they don't run away, especially since this one's fallen apart. I usually rely on the pages to keep in my little scraps. So that's how I generally store my scraps, is with the collection that they're in. But now this is upside down, so I gotta flip it this way. So I'd normally store them upside down like this. And I think this is a very bad one to demonstrate with since it's falling apart, so I'm going to show you with different ones. So they just stand up like this, which is why they're bending a little bit, because they got disorganized. So again, I'm going to clean out this bin. This bin is, I don't know how big it is, but I found it at Target one day, and it's perfect. If it's majority of my paper pads, like I said, I only have a couple that aren't in here, because I have 2 in my How to Kill a Kit with Style kit. And then the other ones are those really thin papers. I'm sure I have other collections around here and maybe some other paper pads, but I know I have some paper collections in my Disney kit as well. So there is some stuff missing, but these are a majority of my paper pads. Looks like this one's also falling apart. This one is almost complete actually. This is a DCWV stack, and I know you won't be able to see it. I actually bought this at Ollie's, but there aren't a lot of pages left that aren't instructions. Most of these are instructions. Sorry, that's my dog. But I also have some vellum pieces, and I think I'm going to rip all these out as well because I'm not going to use them if they're in here. It's just something I forget about. Also the cut aparts I don't really think I'll use. So I'm going to take this one apart, and then I think I'm going to do that storage technique for all the scraps in my other albums, which I don't know if it would work well for all of them. Some of them have very large scraps, but some have very small scraps, so it really just depends. But if you guys have questions about paper pads, what I'm going to do is, now that I have them written all down, I'm going to try to figure out some sort of grouping to put them in, so that way I know if I have 50, well obviously I only have 25, but if a majority of these are Christmas paper pads, then I know I have a problem. I think my main issue is I buy paper pads that aren't really my style. And I don't plan on purging paper pads at the moment, except for that one cardstock pack that I showed you guys. That might go. But I'm going to try to figure out some sort of category system for these. That way I can have it, like, I don't know, in my phone or something. So if I want to buy another beach themed paper pad, I'll know that I have 3 at home. Something like that. And I know someone mentioned on one of my other videos to use OneNote or Evernote for my inventory system. So I like the idea of having it digital, but I also like the idea of having it right here. I'm not a huge fan of using my phone in stores. I often like to have things that I want to purchase in my hands at stores or to film in stores, because I like to make videos for you guys. And I'm trying to debate if I should do both or just one. And I know Janet over at RTS Scrapbooking does the photographs of her paper pads. I think I'm content with this version right now. I don't think I'm allowed to buy any 12 by 12 paper pads until these ones are kaput. Not all of them, just a couple of them. So if I could get here, I'm going to mark a couple that I want to get through maybe before the end of the year. That would be ideal. So that one that I showed you by DCWV is going to be, it's just going to be taken apart. So this one's not going to exist anymore, if I can even find it. DCWV. Again, I didn't put these in any order yet. I just wrote them all down. Maybe I didn't put it in here. Well, if I did, no, I don't remember. But one that I do want to finish is my Basic Gray Fact 12 by 12 paper pad. There's only like, I don't know, a handful left in there. Here it is. So let's see. You know what? I could actually just get rid of this. Let's be honest. So there's a scrap. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's a lot more than I thought there was. 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 full pages left in here. I think what I'm going to do is give myself to the end of the year to use some of them up. And if not, I'll cut them down to 6 by 6 and send them in a giveaway pile. So that's fun. That's kind of scary. So there's that one. A lot of these are bought within the last year or year and a half, which is quite crazy. These paper packs, maybe I should try to put that one down too. So I'm going to do the Mambi Funky Floral paper pack to finish by the end of the year. I definitely can put some dents in the embellishments. Let me see if I can get it out. This one has pretty thin papers in it, which is kind of annoying. I bought it before I opened it at Hobby Lobby. This is one of the clearance packs. It was $2.50 instead of $10, which, I mean, a deal. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 papers. I've used at least one so far. And then there's the sticker sheets here that you can kind of see. So we'll try to use that up. And once I put these back, I do plan on keeping them stored in here. Especially since it limits the amount of paper I can keep bringing in. I just don't know if I need this stored under my desk. It's stored right beneath my desk on my right hand side. Sorry about the in and out focusing. It just doesn't do well when there's packaging involved, so I'm going to move that. But I'm going to keep them stored in here. And I think I would I'm not going to store them by category, but more of my, well, kind of by category. So this one's a travel one, so it's probably going to go, so I have a lot of everyday paper pads. I don't know if you've read that list, but you might not have known. Also, this is kind of like a paper pad collection video because I know someone wanted to see that. So I do have one collection kit. I never gravitate towards these, but it's really cute. So looks like I'll have to try to use that too. I don't expect to use this by the end of the year, mainly because there's a lot in here. This is a great deal for $2.50, but I do want to try to use it more. These kind of pet collection packs, not drawn to as much either, but here's what I'm talking about. A lot of everyday paper pads, so conservatory, life and color, blue blooms, like florals can be used for anything. And if you guys know me and my blog, Gray Florals, I love florals. Oops, I'm knocking. These are so heavy, by the way. When I had to move, I had all my paper pads in here during the move, and it was like 20 pounds. It's ridiculous. So more florals, tropical, a little different. Maggie Holmes, and then a lot of Craftsmith and Recollections paper pads there at the bottom, and pebbles, even some pebbles. So let me know how you guys store your paper pads. I know I talked about Becky biting a lot. She did a closet clean out, and that's where she stores her paper pads, which since I've been doing homemade kits recently, I haven't been going through my paper pads as much, but if I want to sit down and start a layout, I start with my paper pads. I don't go to my loose papers very often, unless I'm looking for something that I can't find in my paper pads. I definitely start with my paper pads the most, and then move on from there. So we have 2 that we want to finish, plus that one that will be taken apart. I just can't find it on this list. Why wouldn't I have written it down? Coastal, unless I knew I was going to take it apart, then I might not have written it. Oh, Minneapolis, it's right here. So we're going to take apart. I'm just making notes so I don't forget. And then I have to somehow fix that one that's falling apart. So I'm going to get started putting all these scraps in 8.5 by 11 little, what are they called? Page protectors. And then putting them all back in here, and then showing you guys, well, and cleaning this out, and then showing you guys what it looks like after, and see if I have some sort of system in place. So I'll check in with you once this is done. Okay, so here is that torn apart paper pad. I have the thing here somewhere. The mini album project stack paper pad. I finally got everything out of it, which actually took longer than I thought it would. And also, sorry if you can hear the dog. He wanted to be in here. So I have a sticker sheet in here. They're white on white, so I doubt you guys can see them, but I'm just gonna put that in my 12 by 12 sticker drawer. It'll get more use out of there anyway. Next up, I have a bunch of vellum. So what I'm going to do is take the 12 by 12 vellum sheets and put them with my other vellum. I don't use vellum very often, but now I have some more. Again, sorry if you can hear him. He has a little collar on that has his tags on, and they jingle about. There's a bunch of these 6 by 12 or 6 by 12, 4 by 6 papers that need to be cut apart. I'm going to cut these apart and then put them with my Project Life cards. If you don't watch my channel very often, I don't do Project Life, I just call them Project Life cards. So I'm going to cut all of these apart and then put them in that organization. And then I have some regular 12 by 12 papers. Most of these are actually specialty. Some are ombre, some are gold foil. I'm going to put these in their coordinating sections by color in my paper rack for now. I don't know if my paper is going to stay there or not, but that's what I'm going to do. And then I have some cut apart sheets in here as well, and I'm just going to cut these apart and then put them in my ephemera storage, which is right off camera here. You can kind of see it there. So that's what I'm going to do with this stuff. Another update about my tub here. Let me see if I can move it. This is going to shake the camera, so be prepared. I feel like I just ran something over. I probably did. Anyway, that felt weird. So I have all my 12 by 12 papers in here. You won't be able to tell. I would tip this over, except they'll all fall out, so we're not going to do that. So in the front, I have my collection packs. There's like 3 of those. Next up, I have the ones I want to finish. I also included this Can Company one. in my finish stack. If I don't finish or use any of it by the end of the year, it's gotta go. So that one's in there. So I put those in the front. And then my basic gray one. And then after that, I have started my themed section. So the first theme is travel and nautical. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And I also included this tropical one because it's very, you know, tropical. So I have 5 travel/nautical paper pads. And then the rest is essentially every day. I do have 1 Christmas pad back there. A couple of the paper pads that are out of here are my fall paper pads, so they'll go in a different section. But these are all of my just basic patterns like Maggie Holmes, that's pretty basic. All of those floral paper pads you saw, Simple Stories, and they each have their own individual pocket for their scraps. So this is what works for me. I know a lot of people don't store their paper pads in a tub like this because they either have more or less, and tubs like this are kind of expensive. I did find this one on clearance, so it was a good find. So that's where all of my paper pads are. They're not in any order once they're inside their section. I even have a birthday paper pad I put back here from Pebbles. I guess that's not in the everyday, but it has a lot of basic patterns, so I put it back there. Whoa, that one shook the table. Oh well. But there is room in here for those couple that are missing, and I hope to use a lot more of my paper pads in the future. Like I said, my How to Kill a Kit with Style for September has 2 paper pads in it, one being Halloween and one being fall, so those will be in their own section once they're in here, if they come back. I'm sure they will. They're both pretty full, but I hope they're thinner by the time they come back in this bucket. I think that's it for paper pads for today. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Again, sorry for the mess that's externally here. I had to zoom out pretty big for this take. But I'm going to create an inventory list of some sort. I think I might take pictures of these and then put them in OneNote. I'm not the kind to buy a double, only because I don't go shopping very much for paper pads. What happens is I go to Michael's and then my boyfriend tells me it's a good deal when it's $5, and I'm like, it is a good deal, but I don't need any. He's like, you can get one, and then I get one. So. But I do have a pretty wide variety of patterns. I think nautical is my worst bucket in here. Other than that, I think that's it for 12 by 12 paper pads today. Let me know how you store yours, or if you have a better idea for my small stack. Again, not that big. I think it could do better somewhere else probably. I just don't have anywhere in mind yet. So I'm going to leave them like this for now. At least the bin's cleaned out. I've got a plan ahead for getting rid of some of these. I don't think I'll use this basic gray one at all, to be honest. I think it's going to end up being in the giveaway pile. And again, I don't give away 12 by 12 papers because they're so expensive to ship. So that'll be 6 by 6 cut down. So I'm going to cut down these vellum papers and put away the ones from the empty stacks that I just took apart. And then put this back under my desk, and then put my cardstock back with my cardstock. And I think that's it for this 12 by 12 paper pad section. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Craft Room Cleanup with me. Let me know what you guys want to see next. I'm excited to keep tackling little by little. I hope you like these smaller segments as well. I know some of mine are very long and some are very short, so we get a very wide variety of videos here. But I think that's it. Again, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe and turn on your notifications if you want to be notified every time I upload a Craft Room Cleanup. And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!